Dr. Zakir, welcome to our program. Thank you for the time.
My
I
pleasure.
really appreciate it. So now you are here in Indonesia. How's your stay so far?
Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam rasulillah ala sahbihi ajmain amma ba'd. Alhamdulillah, I've been here for the last few days. I came here on the 30th of March, and approximately 6 days have passed, alhamdulillah. It has been a wonderful experience giving lectures in different parts of Indonesia, alhamdulillah.
What do you like about Indonesia so far? The foods? Do you like foods?
Food, I'm not a man of food. I'm a simple man, I'm not fussy about food. But the taste of Indian food is different than the taste of the Indonesian food.
I see. But you can eat the food, right? You still can enjoy the food.
Yes, I've had food of different parts
Or
of
they
the
have
world.
to serve you special food.
Nothing like that, alhamdulillah.
Okay. Now you are in Indonesia, one of the country that has a biggest Muslim population in the world so far. What do you think and how do you see Islam in Indonesia?
Theoretically, I do agree with you that Indonesia has the largest number of Muslims in the world. It says about 220 million. But practically, I feel India has a larger number of Muslims. Though
Why
the
so?
government, no, the government says approximately 14 to 16%. But I feel it is minimum 20%. That's about 250 million. So practically, I would say that India has a larger number of Muslims than Indonesia. But theoretically, I agree with you that according to statistics, Indonesia has the largest number of Muslims. What do I feel about Islam in Indonesia? I feel, I'd heard a lot about Indonesia, that, you know, the Indonesians are very soft, very kind, very good. But as far as following the deen of Islam, being close to Quran and Sunnah, the majority are not very close to Quran and Sunnah. But in this trip, what I found, alhamdulillah, I find that the youngsters, mashallah, and the people, I never expected such a large audience for my lecture. Because I normally give lectures in English and in Urdu. And Indonesia, I'm told, about 10% speak English fluently, and about 20 to 25% understand English, along with those who speak and understand. So I didn't expect a large number, but I was shocked, mashallah. Yesterday we had more than 15 to 20,000 people for my talk. That was in Guntur. Then when we went to Bandung, mashallah, there were more than 12,000 people. And I was really impressed by the large number of people coming and the amount of reception that I got. It is, I've been to many countries, I've been invited by many countries of the world, Muslims and non-Muslims. But Indonesia is one of the best hospitality that I got, alhamdulillah, and the reception I got.
You find it that way?
Alhamdulillah.
Do you have an experience of that?
Yes, because when we reached Bandung, mashallah, we found that from the train station to the hotel, there were hundreds of policemen on both the side of the road, you know, clearing the traffic for me, which I feel even to many of the heads of states they won't give. They only give to select the heads of state. And I was happy that not because they did for me. I was happy that the police department and the governor felt that I, being a speaker of Islam, a da'i of Islam, they should give this honor to me. So that really touched me. Yesterday we were in Guntur, there were thousands of students waving the flag, Indian flag, Indonesian flag, both the flags. And there were hundreds of policemen, hundreds of army men, just to greet me, not that I required the protection.
Guarding you.
So that really shows that, you know, how people, I mean, I'm not a head of state. So what they give to the head of state, they gave me a much bigger reception than what most of the heads of states will get in Indonesia. So that really touched me. That's why I say that now I believe the people of Indonesia are coming closer to Quran and Sunnah, and they are respecting a person who speaks on Islam, you know, much more than what they respect any other celebrity.
Especially
So
that hospitality you figure out.
Hospitality and the question and answer session, and the people caring and wanting to know the reply about the Quran and the Sunnah. So I feel, inshallah, what people told me in the past, maybe it was true, but in the last couple of decades, I feel that the Muslims of Indonesia are coming closer to Quran and Sunnah.
Itu dulu, sekarang nggak lagi. Thomson Activated Ginkgo. Bantu memperlancar sirkulasi peredaran darah.
Dengan bahan alam yang diproses menggunakan teknologi yang dipatenkan oleh Yakuken Medical Search Inc. di Jepang untuk bantu meningkatkan penyerapan bahan aktif dalam tubuh.
Untuk bantu memperlancarkan sirkulasi peredaran darah.
Thompson, Activated Ginkgo, Don't Stop Me Now.
Untuk menemani malam, rangkaian informasi nasional dan mancanegara dihadirkan untuk Anda.
Selamat malam, Anda menyaksikan CNN Indonesia The World Tonight. Saya Frida Litwina dan
Kami rangkum perkembangan peristiwa yang terjadi sepanjang hari.
dalam sidang kali ini beberapa saksi dihadirkan untuk mencari titik terang kasus perempuan Muslim London berkumpul di Westminster Bridge, tempat lokasi itu.
Akhiri hari Anda bersama The World Tonight. Setiap hari jam 10 malam, live di CNN Indonesia.
Pagi adalah kunci pembuka hari. Awali dengan informasi inspiratif.
Jadikan hangat mentari sebagai pemacu semangat diri. Dan jangan lewatkan perakiraan cuaca terkini agar siap menghadapi berbagai kondisi.
Berbekal optimisme, perbaharui informasi lalu lintas, dan lalui padatnya aktivitas dengan penuh energi.
Perhitungkan setiap langkah dan pastikan selalu ambil keputusan terbaik untuk mempermudah setiap kegiatan bisnis yang dijalani. Buka pagi Anda bersama kami.
Dan dapatkan rangkaian berita terkini dalam
CNN Indonesia Today.
Can Muslim of Indonesia be the face of Islam in the world?
That's what I told in my lecture, that Indonesia should be. They should
How?
be an exemplary Muslim. And unfortunately, what I feel that, mashallah, you have got good qadis here, people who recite the Quran very well. But very few Indonesians read the Quran with understanding. And that is the case throughout the world. It may be in India and most of the Arab countries. Most of the Muslims don't know Arabic as a language. So they recite the Quran, but they don't understand it. So I feel that inshallah now there is a trend that's moving. I feel that when I look around, I feel it is people, ladies are wearing hijab, but I find that many of the practices which Islam prohibits, and yet people are freely doing it.
Yeah.
So that I feel that if Indonesia comes closer to the teachings of Quran and Sunnah, there is some, and people, there's a journalist who asked me the question that, do you think Indonesia is moving towards intolerance? So I said, what do you mean intolerance? You have to understand what's intolerance. You know what they think, that if people object to something what is wrong, that is intolerance. So I asked her a question. Today, alcohol is the third largest cause of death in the world. 4% people die because of alcohol. Approximately 41% of the people have alcohol. That means everyone who has alcohol, 10% of them die because of alcohol. So today if the government says that I want to ban alcohol, and other people say, no, the government is intolerant. It's not intolerant. Government is not banning alcohol. I'm just giving a hypothetical example. So just because a government of a country bans alcohol, I would say that that government cares for the people.
But
They're intolerant towards alcoholism, towards drug addiction. I'm a medical doctor. There is no two doubt about it that alcohol is any food that has a maximum number of death is because of alcohol. Not only medically, even road accidents and broken homes. You can go on and on. So if a country bans alcohol, it will not call it intolerant. It will say that they really care for their subjects. So what you mean by intolerance is very important. So unfortunately, I feel even most of the citizens of Indonesia, though they are majority Muslims, they don't understand the logic of the Quran and Islam. What is intolerance and what is tolerance?
What do you mean by that?
What I mean, for example, many people call Islam as an intolerant religion. And I say, yes, Islam is an intolerant religion. It's intolerant towards alcoholism. It's intolerant towards drug addiction. It's intolerant towards prostitution. It's intolerant towards adultery. It's intolerant towards racism, towards discrimination, towards bribery, towards corruption, yes. But most of the countries have this.
Yeah.
So just because they have, and if Islam is intolerant towards that, that doesn't mean Islam is the intolerant religion. Because all these things which I quoted, according to me and according to logic, it is against humanity. But some people will benefit. Most of the politicians will benefit because of corruption. Most of the politicians will benefit because of many things.
Yeah.
So if we think logically, Islam is intolerant toward those things that is harmful for society and humanity. So if Islam is intolerant towards things which are harmful for the society, that doesn't mean, yes, it is intolerant towards those things which are against humanity. But it's the most tolerant religion. So what you have to realize, what do you mean by the definition of intolerance? If you're intolerant to anything, yes, it's intolerance towards the wrong thing, but not the right thing. But intolerance normally means you're against those things which are beneficial for humanity. The right definition. But literal definition means you don't like something. Suppose, hypothetically, your close relatives gets involved in prostitution. Would you like it? If your daughter gets involved in prostitution, will you like it?
Of course not. Yeah.
Will you be tolerant or intolerant towards it?
Yeah, that's a question actually.
Why? No problem, let her do what she wants to do. And many of the Western countries, their parents don't mind their children doing prostitution. I would mind. I would not want my daughter to get into prostitution. Would you?
No.
So are you intolerant towards your children getting into prostitution, yes or no?
I have to say no, yeah.
No, you are intolerant.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the reason. Islam is intolerance towards drug addiction. If your son gets involved in drug, will you be tolerant to him and say, no son, no problem, this is freedom of life, have cocaine, have brown sugar? Will you say that?
No.
That means you're an intolerant person. If someone calls me, I am intolerant because I'm against things which are against humanity.
So the definition itself has to be clear.
No, in this way I'm intolerant. But I'm intolerant towards those things which are against humanity. So today I find here, it is clearly prohibited in the Quran that alcohol is prohibited. But yet I find that most of the Muslim shops or restaurants, if it's done by non-Muslim, okay, no problem. They may not have that guidance. But in Quran it is very clear cut in Surah Ma'idah chapter 5 verse number 19 that alcohol is prohibited. Yet I find in Muslim restaurants people selling alcohol and they think it's nothing wrong. They say Indonesians are very tolerant. I would say this is the wrong teaching. They don't have the basic knowledge.
But there is no such, or is there any country that, yeah, you can say that close to Quran and Sunnah like what?
I don't know of any country following Quran Sunnah in total.
Yeah.
But in many aspects, yes. There are many countries which have banned alcohol. Saudi Arabia has banned alcohol. Totally following Quran and Sunnah, I don't know of any country. But some countries are close in the aspect of the punishments. Some countries are close in aspects of economy. Some countries in the social aspect.
Which the world see that as a controversial things, right?
Yes, but it's not controversial. It is a solution for the problems of humanity. But people don't want peace to be in the world.
People don't want peace in
Many
the world.
people.
Why?
Very good
Is
question.
it peace is
Why?
a part
It's a
of
very good
our
question.
humanity?
Why? Because some people benefit from peace not prevailing in the world. For example, there are some countries which sell weapons. There are some companies which sell weapons. If everywhere there is peace in the world, who will buy the weapon? And that's what we're seeing today. Countries are engineering war between other countries so that they benefit. And you're a man of the media, you should be knowing this.
Yeah.
You see all the statements coming from all the Western countries. I don't want to name them. If you don't know this, that means, and I believe you're from CNN. Yeah. So what you have to realize is that many people, many politicians, they would benefit from peace not prevailing. It's happening in India. They want to create fight between two religions so that they benefit for their vote bank. It's there in many parts of the world. In the name of religion, people are winning elections. Great countries. Do you want to name them? Because of showing hatred towards the religion, they are winning election. And today, you find that there is, for the last decade, war for peace, war for peace. It's not war for peace, it is war on peace, on the religion of peace, Islam. Today, Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world. In America, in Europe, in the world. however much they're trying to malign Islam, yet Islam is spreading. So regarding your question, what do you think about Indonesia? I say Indonesia is the largest population of Muslims in the world theoretically. And practically, if not the first, second, they can be a good example. They are the largest majority. In India, we are minority. Out of 1.28 billion, we are 250 million, about 20%. Indonesia has a chance of being an example to the world. How did Islam come to Indonesia? Did any Muslim army come here? No. It came by traders. It came by Akhlaq. But unfortunately, you find good qaris in Indonesia, but people should now concentrate on reading the Quran with understanding in the language they understand the best. Besides Arabic, they should read it in the Indonesian language, in Bahasa, in Java, in English, whichever language they understand, so that they understand what is the ruling and teachings of our Creator.
Bangun semangat sejak pagi hari dengan informasi yang berkualitas.
Pemerintah diharapkan bisa membantu anak-anak ini biar bisa mendapatkan pendidikan lebih baik,
Membuka pikiran dan menambah wawasan.
Perusahaan penerbangan asal Eropa Airbus memperkenalkan mobil yang dapat terbang bernama Pop-Up.
CNN Indonesia Today, live setiap hari jam setengah 6 pagi di CNN Indonesia.
Terima kasih Anda masih bersama Night News.
Melengkapi informasi di penghujung hari Anda, kami hadirkan beragam berita berkualitas dari dalam dan luar negeri.
Direktorat Jenderal Pajak resmi memperpanjang batas waktu penyampaian SPT orang pribadi.
Rangkaian peristiwa penting sepanjang hari kami rangkum untuk menambah wawasan. CNN Indonesia Night News, Selasa sampai Sabtu jam 1 pagi di Trans TV dan CNN Indonesia di Transvision. Buka jendela informasi dengan berita informatif seputar nasional dan internasional.
Polisian Rusia berhasil mengungkap identitas pelaku serangan di stasiun Saint Peter.
Serta berbagai laporan langsung dari tempat kejadian.
Demikian, KPK enggan memberikan nama calon tersangka. Jumlah ini menjadi jumlah terbesar ketiga dari
Beragam informasi yang dikemas menarik dan inspiratif hadir di After 10.
Langsung saja kita mulai After 10 kali.
Senin sampai Jumat jam 10 pagi live di CNN Indonesia.
But that's the world's perception about Islam, with the self-bombing, with the rise of ISIS. So they connect Islam with those kind of acts.
That's right, but if I can prove that Islam is a peaceful religion, they want to connect me and blame me. As I told you, gave a dog name, I gave a dog a bad name and hang him. If I'm a person who's proving that Islam is a peaceful religion, there are some people who are bad apples. And you find bad apples in every religion. I gave a talk on Islam, is terrorism a Muslim monopoly? And I've proved that all the terrorist attacks that took place in the last 100 years, majority, before 9/11, they were done by non-Muslims. Majority. The first kidnap done by non-Muslim, first hijack done by non-Muslim, first assassination done by non-Muslim. Majority. The percentage of Muslims today in the world are about 25%. Yet, the percentage of Muslims who did attack hardly a couple of percent. Today, what's happening? Again, it is they are creating groups. They are creating groups. Hillary Clinton just said a few months back, didn't you hear that? She said that the earlier president of USA, we created Taliban as a proxy war. We created Al-Qaeda. We spent billions of dollars to create them to have a proxy war against Russia.
So terrorism is made by them?
That's what Hillary Clinton said. I think it might have come on your channel also, CNN. Most of the major channels in the world said that. And she said that we spent billions of dollars in giving weapons to them. Then, when their work is done, now they're calling them terrorists. Who created the terrorist? That's what's happening. They are taking the innocent Muslims and telling them, oh, this is your right, you have to fight for your country, for a proxy war against Russia. And then they're throwing cluster bombs in the same country which helps them, Afghanistan, against Russia. Now they throw cluster bombs, which multiple bombs, killing tens of thousands of people. Who is the terrorist? I'm not blaming the common American. I'm blaming the politician.
The politicians.
Politician. The common American doesn't know what's happening.
So how to convince the world that terrorism act is not Islam, that ISIS
You
is
know my
not
lecture?
Islam?
How can you say that they're Islamic? Just because they call themselves Islamic, why are you repeating it? If I call myself the president of USA, will you repeat that on your channel? No, because you know. So you do a little research on Islam. These people may have been brainwashed by certain people who are misguided, or maybe brainwashed by the enemies of Islam, like how Hillary Clinton said, we created the Taliban. Even this ISIS, according to me. So I feel there is a great scope for Indonesia to be a good example to the world of Islam. You have advantage that it is far away from the, from the main hub of the attack. It is away from the depth that people know the other countries where the main activities are going on. So Malaysia, Indonesia is away. So you have a very good chance of portraying that what Islam is about peace, about tolerance, about haqq, about justice. And I pray that the teachings of Islam, the Quran and the Sahih Hadith become more common in Indonesia, and there will be really true peace, not artificial peace. The true peace is a person who sleeps with a content heart.
Dr. Zakir, now I want to ask you about your methods when you do your preach. You tend to compare some religion to Islam. Do you think that that is the only way to spread Islam values, because it's a threat to tolerance among religions?
Quran says in Surah Mumtahina, chapter number 60, verse number 8, Allah forbids you from being just to the non-Muslim, from being unjust. Allah forbids you, telling the Muslims, Allah forbids the Muslim from being unjust to the non-Muslim, as long as they don't fight you your faith and do not drive you out of your home. But the next verse says, if the non-Muslim fight you your faith and drive you out of your home, then Allah forbids you from being kind to them. So generally, Islam says, be kind to all the non-Muslims. Convey the message. If they agree, follow. If they don't agree, leave them. Don't fight them. Lakum dinukum waliyad-din. To you your way, to me is my way. That's only one word, out of context. The full word, the full surah, Surah Kafirun, chapter 109, verse 1 to 6 says, Kul ya ayyuhal kafiruna, la abudu ma ta'buduna, wala antum abuduna ma abud, wala ana abudu ma abattum, wala antum abuduna ma abud, lakum dinukum waliyad-din. Say to those who reject faith, who reject Islam, I will not worship what you are worshipping, you will not worship what I worship. I will not be worshipping what you want me to worship, nor will you worship what I want to worship. To use your faith, to me is mine. That is last. Have you presented Islam to them or not? Without presenting Islam to them, you cannot say lakum dinukum waliyad-din. It's out of context. You present Islam to them, you cannot force anyone to accept Islam at the point of the sword. You cannot force anyone to accept Islam at the point of the gun. That is prohibited in Islam. If, in fact, Islam says if non-Muslims are in your country, you protect them. This is Islam. But that doesn't mean you make them sit on your head. That doesn't mean you make them abuse your religion. That doesn't mean that you make them talk things against your religion. This is Islam, tolerance.
Dr. Zakir, how you memorize all of those verses from Quran, from Bible, and from...
It is Allah's gift to me, alhamdulillah. Hadha min fadli rabbi.
You have a very strong way to memorize
I wouldn't,
things.
yes, Allah has given that, but it is mainly Allah's help. Allah helps. And we have got children in our school of young age. They do a better job than me.
Do you have any things like you used to do to memorize all of those things?
The more my faith in Allah increases, more does my memory increase, alhamdulillah. It is people ask me, what do I eat? What do I do? Alhamdulillah. It is only due to the blessings of Allah. And
So that's
therefore
the
I
God
thank Allah.
gives
Yes,
to you.
yes. No, Allah will give that to anyone who strives. See, I don't consider myself to be a person of knowledge. There are hundreds of thousands of Muslims who have got more knowledge than me. It is Allah's help. I am a medical doctor. I chose to become a doctor thinking it's the best profession in the world. But after I met Sheikh Ahmed Didat, who inspired me, who was my inspiration,
Yeah.
and after reading the verse of the Quran of Surah Fussilat, chapter 41, verse number 33, which says, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا قَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Who is better in speech than the one who invites people to their Lord, works righteousness, and says that I'm a Muslim? When I found that calling people to Islam is a better profession, when I treated people physically, I used to get pleasure. But when I treated people spiritually, I got multiple times more pleasure. That's how I changed from a doctor of a body to a doctor of a soul.
Do you do sport?
I have to do many sports. I was a sportsman, I'm a long distance runner. I'm a gold medalist on the state level in running long distance 10 kilometer.
Because those people say that you are so fit
I'm-
at your age.
I'm
You're so fit.
I'm so fit. No, no,
At
Allah
your
gives. Allah is the one who keeps me fit, alhamdulillah.
Do you have any hobby?
Many hobby I have. Today my best hobby
Yeah.
is to spread peace. To give lectures. You give me good people to give lectures, I'll be happy. You get me a non-Muslim to talk to, I'll be happy. To remove the misconception. My best is spreading the message of peace. Spreading the message of Islam.
And that helps everything.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, Dr. Zakir Naik, thank you so much for your time.
It's my pleasure to be with you.
Thank you so much.
Right.